already setting up to look better here in game number 2 for Latam defenders. Infamous, they've got a lot of time to think about this next pick. Probably looking at perhaps their mid, if not safe,
Looks
pickup
like a
here.
nice
And
Slark
I
game,
think,
doesn't it?
yeah, it's a really good Slark game if they want to go into that up against a Tide. It's one of those heroes that just enjoys building stacks up. Even an Ursa is
Yeah.
a pretty good choice as well. If you want to just punish this Tide pickup, we have seen that work out nicely. And they go with the Ursa. Just a better hero, slap the Tide Hunter, doesn't care for Kraken, doesn't care too much about Anchor Smash. Just get the Fury Swipe stacks up and you will get the damage off.
Yeah, I think if the Ursa was banned, they would have just gone Slark. Both heroes just have a way of not caring about all the disable, right? Because you've got the Enrage with the Ursa, you've got the Slark with the, I forgot the name of it now, the Dark Pact. And both dominate melee heroes like the Tide. Still, the Ursa obviously very, very good here. And Latam defenders, they will turn around with the Weaver,
Okay.
which is not really a bad pick at all. The only problem is the Ursas we've been seeing do tend to go for a Blink Dagger early, pretty much after the Battle of Fury, and then you'll generally pick up a BKB. Some will choose to go for the BKB first, which could be the case in this game because there are so many stuns. But either way, after the Blink, you will generally pick up an Abyssal Blade on the Ursa. And that's the point where I think the Weaver will run into some issues. So you get stunned up with the Fury Swipes and the Overpower, you just kind of delete the Weaver pretty darn quick. And if you add an Inkswell on top of the Ursa, on top of the Abyssal Blade, there's just no way to survive that.
No, it's a tricky one to live through. I think we've seen this matchup as well, Ursa versus Weaver before. I think it was yesterday with Simply 2 based up against Infinity. And Infinity did win that one with the Ursa up against the Weaver. So
Yeah.
there is a back and forth there. I think Infamous don't mind us too much, as you mentioned. I mean, they've already got this Grimstroke. So Soulbind is going to keep the Weaver stuck to whoever he's tethered onto anyway, which makes it hard to Shukuchi away to kind of maximize that movement in the middle of a fight. And the silence from the Grimstroke might be enough to just stop the Weaver from time-lapsing as well. So there's a back and forth there already set up from Infamous and Latam defenders. We'll have to see how else they sort of set up for that Weaver here. Looking more than likely for a mid pickup. Infamous did take out the Viper, so just ensuring that the Ursa won't get kited around this game. And Latam defenders looking at mid pickups here as well to ban out. They took out the Lesh. Not much reserve time left, so they're going to have to speed through their last pick as well.
2 seconds. It'll be the TA banned out. Just not wanting that TA, as you tend to finish the game pretty darn fast. You have TA Ursa on the same team. Infamous Gaming, final ban out for them as well. They're looking for a mid pick to get rid of. Obviously, we saw the Viper already being removed, which is fair because Nana does seem to enjoy playing that quite a bit in the mid lane. I mean, Infamous do have the Morphling to go back to if they really wanted to this game. And I don't think it's going to be that bad if they did, especially into the Weaver, because you can just morph and take Sakuchi. That could be pretty disgusting to have to play against as well. Could be considered a little bit greedy with the Ursa, but we said that about the last draft as well, and that was not the case. They made it work very easily.
That they did. You also have the option for Void Spirits in the pool. Surprisingly left behind by both teams, right? Like, that's not been banned out, not been picked up. I think Latam defenders would want it a bit more, so they have that arrow set up with Mirana. Makes it a nice combo, but they go with the Storm instead, so they've got the zip through.
Void Spirit.
Yeah, just a Void Spirit matchup against Storm is really solid to have. Gives them some control as well. The Storm, though, the timings here Latam's going to be looking for is more than likely the Orchid timing that we've seen time and time again. Just gives you that control, a way of jumping in, bursting down one of these heroes first, and cleaning up after. It's looking pretty good here for Latam compared to Game 1. Team fight with the Tide Hunter, solid supports with a Mirana, Ogre, Magi this time, and a Weaver that's going to be hard to catch out early on. So a lot of back and forth, and should have a better time in Game 2 with this kind of draft. Infamous, they're thinking hard about that next pick, but the last Spirit Brothers there, not counting the Earth Spirit, unfortunately. They go with Tiny instead. So they want to go for that bursty game, get a fast blink and Angel. Storm versus Tiny can be really good for the Storm. So there is that advantage now for Nana.
We saw this exact matchup, though. It was the other day, and the Tiny player ended up 21-1 at the end of the game.
Yep.
And it was a Storm versus Tiny in the mid matchup, and we said the exact same thing last time. We thought the Storm should have the advantage, but that was not the case that game at least. We'll see if Angel can kind of replicate that sort of performance here. It's hard for me to go up against Infamous as well, considering they did win that first game so convincingly. Even though I think the Latam Defenders draft is actually pretty nice, I still have that problem with dominating lanes. I think if Infamous just win out the lanes again, they're just going to run over Latam Defenders, and there's not much they're going to be able to do about it. These cores on Latam Defenders, they don't come online that quick. They need farm, they need space, they need time. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get that up against Infamous Gaming, who have gone for a very early to mid-game style draft.
Yeah, they're going to have to stave off the aggression that Latam Defenders will bring out. And I believe the Tiny matchup that we saw was Ray-Lisa Storm alone Tiny. If I recall right, that was
correct,
the play. Yep. And it was such an amazing game coming out from Alone. So we should see whether or not Infamous can replicate that success. But having seen that matchup, I think Angel actually should know what to expect. And you have to be careful now in the Storm. Nana just needs the stable lane. Get that Orchid. He has to be active for his team. I'm looking at Nana, and what the heck is this set? Why does he have a tail?
Oh, he does too. All right.
This is dragony, I guess, right? Like supposed to be like, I suppose a dragon set.
Armor of the
Storm Dragon.
Okay.
There you go. Strange one. I
Haven't
don't like
seen
it.
You don't like it? I think it looks all right.
It looks like a lizard. Looks like a blue lizard. Less of a dragon. Kind of looks like a
That's
silly.
kind of what a
lizard.
dragon is, though, isn't it? It's like based off a lizard.
I guess reptilian. Yeah. I know. It's kind of cool, I guess. The horns kind of make it look like something Arkosh would use.
Yeah.
You know, kind of demonic. Maybe if they had this set, they'd have a better time, but that's a different story.
I tweeted to Arkosh, John. I gave him some advice. Don't worry.
Very good advice as well.
Yeah.
Very good advice, Mike. Should be an interesting one. I'm hoping Nana has a better time. Angel, I mean, when you have a Morphling player who can kill Viper at level 2, I think that means you can maybe get anything done down mid. So you just have to be so careful now for Nana and giving that early start. No scuffle over the runes, just a straight 2-for-2 trade. And no camping around for first blood as well. It looks like A is just dead set to go back top to help support his core. You will have to face off against Valky on the Tide once more, and Moonlight on the Mirana. So a stable Tide Mirana lane. We've seen this multiple times throughout the tournament. This should find some EXP this time because Mirana can just arrow the range creep and some really good blocks coming out here just to ensure that the lane shoves in a bit more. They are trying to get the same done, but already let loose a melee creep, so not as good as the block there for Infamous.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to get a massive block off because you need the early level 2 timing. Nice arrow from Moonlight to get the range creep. Leo probably didn't want to block it with his body as he may have copped way too much harassment there from Valky had he done so. So far, so good for Latam Defenders in this top lane. Of course, in the mid lane, you do have Angel up against Nana. It's a bit early to say who's going to win out this lane, but it really just could go either way. As top lane A, arrow is going to land a very nice one from Moonlight. You won't have the damage output, and now the Stroke of Fate turnaround. They are playing with each other. Like A is going to be alright. He'll salve up on the high ground. Still gets a Stroke of Fate as well.
Clip Moonlight. Pretty nice. There is a salve in Moonlight as well, though. Down to 1 tango on him, whereas A has 5 tangos left. So he's going to be able to stand here a bit more.
He has to TP. That Stroke of Fate does a lot of damage at level 1. Of course, the slow you can't underestimate either, so a TP forced out from the Mirana. It's going to make a lot of people around the map feel a lot safer the next minute and a half or so. We should check out the one lane we haven't looked at yet, and that is the bot lane, of course. Mariano and Michael up against Eridus. You do have the Weaver being played by Cook-a-Hook. So far, pretty even. Mariano slightly behind the Weaver. I think it is going to be all about getting those levels up as well and just trying to abuse the Swashbucklers mid lane. Angel and Nana are going at it, but Nana might win this one out. The Static Remnant is there, and he does get it. Nice first blood. Angel trying to be very aggressive, but of course at the level 3 for Nana, with the level 1 Vortex, you are going to be able to turn around.
Yeah, it's a good win for Nana. Definitely a different story from game 1, so that sets a good tone for a Storm mid. Has his bottle flying in as well, so he doesn't need to repeat the wave.
Mariano almost finding a double kill, but not quite. Michael will be able to get the Ogre, but if you are Latam defenders, you should be very satisfied with that trade.
Yeah, I mean, you kill off that Pangolier. You're starting to find some wins across each lane. And Infamous just lagging behind a bit, not quite getting that early aggression they want, and are being punished. You're at the point now where, because of that, Michael's at level 3 ahead of Mariano. So now the Pangolier is going to need to soak a little bit more. And Weaver at level 3 now, having the value point in the Swarm, along with his Geminate and Shikuchi, means there is a little bit more damage coming out here if you're not careful.
Absolutely. Back over to the mid lane. Nana having a very nice time. 18 and 3 on the Storm, just ahead of Angel. Of course, out leveling the Tiny, considering he did get that kill. That early level 6 timing is probably going to be a pretty big bonus for this Storm, because he might have a chance to go and kill Angel one more time once he has the zip up. But Angel looking for a toss back to the range creep, but the tower was aggroed onto the creep, and now the Vortex with the Static Remnant and the Salve being committed. Angel pretty darn low. It's going to be fine. The arrow did not connect, and now A going to turn around with the Ink Swell. They also have the Keeper of the Light, Michael, coming in, and Na is going to go down. Michael ends up picking up the kill. Good rotations out from the supports, and poor Eridus. He thought he could get a courier, but he could not.
It's a lovely pickup for Infamous. Kind of evens out that lane for Angel. Unfortunately, not getting as much EXP as he'd like. So you still have a significant EXP advantage on the Storm, which means level 6 is going to line up a little bit faster. Still good activity so far from the supports. Leaving along the sideline, so it does give an opportunity here for Infamous to just play tag a bit. And you can see Leo just trying to abuse those level 2 Fury swipes. Not quite enough to get anything done, though.
We have a lull period here, but the 5-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. A gonna contest. Be able to get it. While Leo, dropping extremely low, is gonna be able to get out, but it looks like A is gonna be in danger. Moonlight still chasing him down. Does have one more leap charge. He's gonna go for it. While that's happening, the bot lane, Mariano dies to cook a hook, and A is indeed gonna go down. So 2 kills across the map. 2 very nice kills, and oh, Infamous not looking quite as strong for their opening this game as they go for more now. Michael out of position and cook a hook. Gonna help find another. This time Eridus the one to pick up the kill.
Yeah, they're just winning out so far with this early aggression from Latam defenders. This is a really good start for them. It's enabling the Weaver to find some really good farm. And you can see he's lagging behind in last hits, but when you have 2 kills like that, it does set you up well. Leo is finding some good kills, although down mid.
Yeah, arrow does connect, but A is around. Even had Michael TPing in just in case, and he'll fill the bottle of Angel now. The haste rune at the top rune spot is going to go the way of Na on the Storm, and he's going to try and rotate up top. Now Leo is very low on the Ursa. So if they can find out where this Ursa is, it's going to be a nice, easy pick-off. He doesn't have level 6 either, so the Enrage is not available for him. Moonlight might catch a glimpse. Leo, they do see each other now, and Leo just wants to get out, but he's stuck in the tree line. He'll cut the trees and run away, but Leo is being controlled and will go down. Moonlight, very, very nice rotation there from the Mirana. Na has haste up, eh? Doesn't see them yet. Now will, but it's all too late. He'll try to Ink Swell, but it's not going to matter. They get the kill. Of course, Eridus does die down towards the bot lane, but it's just an Ogre. Not too big of a deal for Latam defenders.
Yeah, they're starting to build up that momentum now. Lots of early activity coming out from Na does mean that the Orchid should be completed in a very fast time. He is #1 net worth right now as well, along with Cocohook. So they're building up that lead in a very big manner. They're able to get some push onto this top tier 1 as well. And with Medallion of Courage up early from Valky, he can start buffing up one of the creeps to prolong this push. So already taking control top means that the Ursa's not going to have a really safe spot to farm. And that Battle Fury for Leo in this game looks to be very late, considering that start.
Dire's top tower is
Angel.
under attack.
Bit of a hunt, see if he can find himself an easy pick-off. Valky is really pressuring that tier 1 tower and might just get it. A gonna go in with the silence and the ink swell, and Angel should have enough follow-up damage. Valky, avalanche tossed. It's almost dead, and Leo might be able to get the last hit and does. They'll now have a chance to just deny off that tier 1 top and get some of the gold away from Latam defenders.
Top tower denied.
Gonna help out Leo, who his CSing has been okay, but still behind the Storm in net worth and might feel the need to catch up very quick.
Yeah, it's been a really good start, mainly for Na. If you look at the Weaver's farm, Cocohook is still lagging behind Leo, so they're within 200 gold of each other, not too bad. They are looking to set up mid now, Latam.
Going on to Angel, they'd love to kill this Tiny again, and they get the Fire Blast into the arrow. Even Valky showing up just in case they need it. They don't. Valky immediately giving the tip over to Angel.
I'm getting a second wind.
Yeah, the confidence now here from Latam, setting up for that mid tier 1. And they can melt it through relatively quick with all the numbers they've got on hand. Infamous just not able to really defend here.
Zip in again, A. Gonna be alright, they'll go after Michael instead. Not gonna have the vision. But instead, A, going back in towards the tier 1. He's gonna have the help of Mariano, who is level 6 and does have the Rolling Thunder. Could try and force a team fight. Valky, he get tossed. Does, up in the air, and they actually burst him down. Mariano with the swashbuckle just helping out a little bit there, and by the time he came back to the ground, he was gone. Meredith, also being tossed, he's gonna die. Angel finds a second, now onto the Mirana, Moonlight. He's gonna leap away. It's gonna be safe. Latin defenders, they've got to be very cautious not to give kills away like that to Angel, who is quite behind in terms of farming up that blink.
Yeah, and just giving those kills does help accelerate that timing. They are trying to play poke right now, though.
Moonlight gonna lead down to the low ground. Leo trying to chase Cocohook. They'll still see him, but they're not confident in being able to actually chase down and secure the Weaver kill. Looks like they might just start grouping up to try and pressure the bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and they've got numbers close by, but Michael...
They get the recall off onto Angel. Still no blink. They can't close the gap as well as you'd like to. I still think you'd want him to be around, because you do need that tier 1 bottom tower gone if you're Infamous. This map needs to be opened up a bit. Otherwise, of course, he could just keep farming up so easily on this Storm, and he's getting close to the point where he's going to have an Orchid up soon.
Dire should look to their middle tower.
Arridus.
There.
Angel now spots him. I don't believe there is any dust though, so Angel can't do much about this Ogre. And he's in within sentry range now. Avalanche toss, but Storm zipping in. Fire Blast connects, and Angel, he took the bait. He's gonna pay for it. Even mid lane, Mariano goes down.
Great set of kills for Latin defenders. That does allow them to get some push going. Infamous forcing some issues that they shouldn't be. They're starting to fall behind and farm. 10-6, 2k lead now for Latin defenders. The one silver lining here for Infamous is that you are finding farm on Leo. He's only 800 gold behind Na and is still ahead of the Weaver. So you're not lagging behind on that Ursa just yet. But the blink timing on your Tiny is very slow. Mariano on the Pangolier has kind of tapered off as well, although he does have his Javelin for some good damage.
Mid lane, Soulbind out. Got the silence on Nana, but he had an illusion rune. So he will be able to get away. Back onto A. Easy kill for the Storm.
You had your warning.
That'll be enough. They just can't really fight back yet. Angel doesn't have the toss up, so he can't really initiate for his team. You wonder when they're really going to be able to deal with the Storm this game.
It's gonna be a difficult one. I think right now their main focus is just giving Leo that farm and trying to get that blink timing on Angel. It's still about 1,000 gold away, so the timing is awfully slow, and the Orchid for our Storm is up, so Nana is smoked up, wants to use it.
Absolutely. If you can get a kill in this mid lane, it might mean the mid tier 1 tower for your team. They actually go after Leo in the triangle and they get him. The Ursa goes down. It's a very valuable pick, and what's into the mid lane. That tier 1 tower, I just don't see it surviving.
No, it's gonna melt so fast. They've got the damage on hand, take it for free. They probably won't be looking to pressure a tier 2 yet, but they are drawing lines in the jungle. They want to invade, prevent the farm from coming out for Infamous. And Infamous, they need to play conservatively. Wait for the blink on Angel, 200 gold away. That's going to be a major spike for them to start playing around after.
Valky. Gush onto A. Arrow probably not going to land unless Michael just runs into it. It won't matter. No follow-up to it. You do have the blink up on the Tiny, and I believe Michael is recalling him in as we speak. It's time to go. 5-man smoke. If this team fight works out for Infamous, they can go straight for a Roshan attempt. Angel. They're going to see Valky. They can just burst down the time. That's what they're going to try and do. Valky cannot get a Ravage off and will go down. Nana tried to help, but now he's been caught out with a Rolling Thunder stun as well. They might just be able to get him in time. And they do. Big loss for Latam defenders. They're not done yet, Infamous. They have very low cooldowns. They can just keep going. Angel, after Moonlight, mid-leap, gets the Avalanche toss into the swashbuckle from Mariano. And Aridus is not safe either. That tier 1 tower, not going to help him that much. That'll be a 4-for-0 trade, and it should mean a Roshan.
Yeah, it does open up that objective for them if they want. They do have the Ursa to melt through it fast. Battle Fury is up on Leo as well. So they can easily get the damage on. Yeah, probably prefer to do that still.
Valky,
Roche.
thinking the Roche had already started, did come in to contest. Now the zip in from Nana, and they still have the Ravage. They're going to commit it straight off the bat onto the Tiny, killing off Angel. A goes down, and now Mariano, very low, so Nana can continue the chase. And Cook-a-Hook gets a double. I suppose that's why they didn't bother for the Roshan yet. Respawn timers were just too low. Problem is, the rest of the team did stick around the Roshan pit.
Yeah, they didn't back off in time. Good punishment out from Latam defenders. Really successful Ravage there coming out from Valky. So they get the punishment down. They maintain the slight net worth lead, not by much now on the side of Latam. That is mainly because Leo is just starting to build up. Has the Ogre Axe up, trying to save for the BKB. And it's at that point where the Ursa can show his face. Once you have that BKB with a Battle Fury, all of the control on the side of Latam defenders means nothing. The damage output's probably going to be lacking as well, especially in the Storm. And the Orchid will not control the Ursa up.
No. He got tossed up, but the Avalanche never came out. I think Angel got silenced as soon as he blinked in with the toss. Moonlight able to pick up the DD rune, not allowing Angel to take it. Avalanche, toss. Oh, Nana. Zipped in for the creep wave by the tier 1, but Angel was ready for it.
Oh, that's so greedy. Now to get the line up for the push, and there's no Ravage from Valky.
This isn't safe, Valky. You gotta run. Angel, he's going after the Mirana instead, so they won't bother with the Tide, and now they might be able to turn. Latam defenders after the Tiny. Fire Blast is there. He doesn't really have much help on the way, but the Rolling Thunder might just be enough to force them back. Cook-a-Hook is coming back in. Angel still on the run with the Avalanche, and the Soulbind from A is going to hold them back so they cannot kill the Tiny, but they do get Michael on the coddle. still definitely chase down the Grimstroke. As A tries to TP, but a nice fire blast there from Eridus. Gonna ensure they get the kill. I thought Valkyrie is the one being greedy there in that position, but they went for the Mirana instead, and oh, he just leaped away.
Yeah, that's a bit of a strange choice. Like, they know Ravage was down. Maybe they were scared of a TP coming in, and they just go for the wrong target. Couldn't even find a pickoff. Good punishment once more from Latam defenders, and they've stalled out long enough that Ravage will be back up soon.
And he wants to fight. It's up right now. Leo is around with the team, but he's so close to picking up that BKB now that you'd rather just keep farming up if you're this Ursa. Once the BKB's there, you can indefinitely start fighting. You look at Cookahawk's farm, he's slowly but surely he's getting there on the Weaver. Only about 700 gold behind the Ursa. But not too bad at all for Cookahawk.
Yeah, it's not enough being farmed up here from the Ursa. Again, he had a slower start, so it's just basically him still trying to play catch-up to his power spike here. The Latam defenders just constantly sticking together. They're not giving opportunities towards Infamous to get their burst lineup going, and farming up like this, sure, it's rather even, but the distribution between Nana and Cocohook is a lot healthier than the distribution between Angel and Mariano. They are so far behind on the Tiny and on the Pango that it's hard to get yourself in a good spot. Like, Mariano is still saving up for the Blink. Needs the Blink to get in position to get a good rolling thunder off, but he just doesn't have room to farm up. It's all going to Tiny and the Ursa. And with all of that movement out, it does allow Cocohook and Nana to just push the top tier 2.
Nice plays here from Latam defenders. I get a bit worried when I see Nana not going for a BKB this game, I might be honest, John. We see this a lot. We've seen Nana die to the Avalanche toss many times, and you can't forget either, you have the silence on A. We'll see if it comes back to bite him later on. Smoke up, Angel, gonna have his smoke broken. Moonlight, nice positioning on the Mirana. Recall is there onto Leo with a 10-second BKB charge. They want to go in. Moonlight is gonna also be popped here for Latam defenders. Tier 1 tower already down, so they still want to initiate. That Illuminate may have given it away, but the zip in is going to be straight onto Angel, but they zip right back. Valkyrie, a big ravage onto 3 heroes, and they're just going to burst down Mariano. Onto the Ursa now, he can't get the BKB off in time. A also in danger, he'll be the third to die. And the tips will come out for Leo. He did have time, and look at the pinks coming out. Everyone needs to calm down. We know the BKB wasn't used. Bit of a mistake there from Leo. However, in the mid lane, Valky. Oh, they're going to get the arrow off. On to the Tiny. That'll be Angel dying.
That was really optimistic from Angel. He blinks into 3 heroes, expects to find a pickoff, but the Eultz is already up in the Mirana. And with those stats, Latam defenders go straight into the Roche. Infamous doesn't really have good access points to fight that too, because Mariano still doesn't have a blink. The Tiny can try jumping in, but it's going to be a buyback, so just a free Aegis going the way of Latam. Nana now with Aegis means that he's got 2 lives to play with, saving up for that Bloodstone. As you mentioned, no BKB, but it doesn't feel like a major issue anymore. Infamous have been forced to sight different heroes first, and the Storm just gets to stay true. They want to burst the squishy targets in the Mirana, maybe the Weaver. So Storm's not really a priority considering how fast he is.
Leo going to try to go onto Valky. They know the Ravage is not up, but Eridus will turn around with a Fire Blast. Now Angel in with the Avalanche toss. They get 1. Not quite the kill they wanted, but they're going to have to take it. And even though they just lost the Roshan and the last team fight, it seems like they're still rather confident here on Infamous to try and force another fight with that 10-second charge. It seems though Latam defenders aren't quite as interested.
No, they're just split pushing up top with Cook. The Weaver is just getting some good damage into the tier 3. No one really coming in to stop him. And that tier 3 does drop a fair bit. You do find a TP in the end, but it is cancelled off.
Cancelled
so.
off. Michael comes in. He'll take care of it. Back to Nana. This hero is nearby, but can they actually lock him down?
Shadows take us.
Don't forget he has the Aegis. Oh, poor Michael. Limitate's gonna save him for now. Nana, realizing he needs a TP out, is gonna make it. Nice little escape. Leo is surrounded. Ravage is gonna fly out just for the Ursa. But they'll happily take it, and even Angel just can't help. He tried to kill Moonlight, but it's gonna cost him his own life. And more tips will come towards Leo.
Yeah, they're just laying it in. Latam defenders feeling confident here in this game number 2. 7k lead, 23-12. And Valky telling him to put a cork in it. Still, Infamous have started to build up some items here. Blink is up in Mariano. So you do have Blink and Rolling Thunder in. And you have some angles now to take control in these team fights. The Ursa still lagging behind in terms of getting that Blink up. BKB is still unused. Like, this is such a... It's a pretty passive BKB in this game. Just not being able to pull it off. Really good positioning from Latam defenders. They set themselves up for a push on the bot tier 1. And with Cook's farm, he's also rushing BKB. Very tanky already with the SNY plus Maelstrom and the Falcon Blade. Hard to deal with a Weaver and even that Storm. Like, I believe the Bloodstone's done already in Nana, and it is. He's saving up for that BKB you mentioned, so he is going back for that. And once you have these BKBs up, the burst option from the Tiny just goes away.
Group up. Might see a smoke up soon from Latam defenders. Ravage is up in 60 though, they might just wait that one out. Infamous, trying to get aggressive. Very hard to take a fight into that Aegis on the Storm. It's already hard to kill him off once, let alone twice. You look at Leo on that Ursa, he still needs so much more farm to be effective. Like, you really want the Basher into the Abyssal, but you've got to go for the Blink first to actually be able to close the gap in this game. Latam defenders, they're not giving them the time to farm this. More pushing to happen now, down towards the bot tier 2. They will get a glyph out of this. I don't think they're going to back off either.
No, the Aegis is about to expire for Nana. So there's a moment of vulnerability here in the next 55 seconds. But there's really not much Infamous can do. When it comes to team fight, they just don't have enough to turn the tides yet. You can see Michael is trying to save up for his Ags on the Keeper of the Light. So once you have access to the Will-O-Wisp, you can try and force some of these bigger engagements out. But before then, all you really have is this Tiny. Like, you've got Soulbind. We haven't seen it always be impactful for me. The Silence as well is fairly easy to deal with if you are the Weaver and the Storm, as you do have some good right-click speed up and running now. So you're just not quite finding those opportunities on Infamous's end. And that does mean Latam defenders continues to build up here, Mike. 23-12, 8k lead. Look at Nana. BKB pretty much done, 50 gold away. Is going for the Ag Shard. So that's going to give him... no, not the Ag Shard. No, he's saving for the BKB. I was looking at the Weaver. Our Weaver is going for the Ag Shard, which is lower Swarm cooldown. So yeah, that does help them get some more damage out, get some additional control out as well. And should allow our Weaver to actually play fairly fast. Nana still saving up for that BKB. Does have his fresh Bloodstone, just looking for more charges now. And they've got everything they need. With an 8k lead at 25 minutes in, Infamous are the ones on the back foot, and they just aren't finding those answers. Like, Angel's Blink hasn't been as impactful as they'd hope. He's been blinking into a couple of fights which were awkward, to say the least. Needs his own BKB up and running, but he's just sharing this farm space with an Ursa who wants it even more.
Yeah. I think the Ursa, his farm is going to be much more impactful at this stage of the game. Of course, the Tiny can still do a lot, but You'd much rather just give the Basher, the Blink, and the Abyssal to the Ursa ASAP. I think Angel quite needs the BKB as much. They are running out of space to farm, and Latam defenders, of course, with an AK net worth, they do not want to let this pressure go yet. Speaking of BKBs, Cookahawk is going to have his own one at about 50 gold. It's going to make bursting down the Weaver just as hard. Looks like we're having still a few lag issues now. Packet loss issues for Latam defenders. Hopefully it all gets sorted.
Mess is all your fault?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they are winning out regardless of those issues, so props to them. They are still getting that steady build-up, getting a lot more value with these supports, and that's really one of the big differences compared to Game 1. The Ogre Magi just enables you to play a lot faster. The Mirana as well enabled the Tide to get that solid EXP gain, so Valky wasn't lagging behind at all. And that made all the difference. Infamous last time mainly ran down because they had such high aggression that Latam defenders couldn't deal with. This time around, they do have supports on hand to turn those situations around and find their own kills. So Infamous have got to find some answers for themselves here. Get some farm going. Get that Ursa up and running as fast as possible.
Much easier said than done, unfortunately, though. Pretty tough time. Reconnection on Aridus. He's hoping the issues are now solved and we can get along with it.
You know, looking like they're still sorting it out. If there is anything up, haven't been given the go-ahead yet, so a little bit more of a dallying wait. And
Okay.
no.
Nope. Did you hear the new Space Jam movies coming out, John?
Yeah, I mean, I heard news of that before. I have to say, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I loved Space Jam. It was one of my favorite animated films as a kid. Maybe one of the reasons why I took animation. I don't know how to feel about Space Jam 2. I feel like I really don't know how to feel about it. Like, I haven't watched the trailer. I know there was some new teaser out. I don't know. I don't know how to feel.
Neither
How
do
do you
I.
feel about it, Mike?
I haven't
Right?
watched the trailer. I've seen the movie poster or whatever you want to call it. It's hard to imagine it not being MJ. You know, like LeBron.
Right?
Obviously, LeBron's a great player. It's not really words to describe the man, but you get my point. I don't know. It feels weird without Michael.
Yeah, it's like it felt like Space Jam was about him. I mean, I get that LeBron is just like this generation's greatest, I suppose. I don't follow basketball much, so I'm just going off with talking points.
Never
Still,
mind that, John.
Valky.
Valky is going to jump in. Angel. He's going to run. The Glimmer Cape, and it's going to be just fine. Zip in.
Zip.
Not finding anyone.
We are sitting through that time on the Aegis. About 20 seconds left for Nanana, so Infamous have held out from fighting into Aegis for now. They've got the Basher up on Leo. Not quite enough, but they do smoke up. They want to play with us.
Be great for them if they could get Nana. Aegis should be expiring pretty soon. There it is. All in now, Mariano trying to go after Valky, but he doesn't quite find the target he wanted to go on, and now he's just stuck. Zip in. Nana, who's he going for? He's just going to be able to TP out, so instead they will go into the backlines after that. Marana and Michael. Looks like, excuse me, not Marana, but rather Keeper of the Light. It looks like Michael does go down. Latam defenders into the mid-tier 2 tower. Quite easy to take this down with that Weaver.
There's nothing to stop them as well. Without the Rolling Thunder, that's your main team fight spell. They're going to have to wait for Mariana to have it off cooldown. It isn't that long, to be fair. Just 1:10, and it's just about half a minute left. But they lose their last outer tower, and Latam defenders just get to go home. And Leo.
They caught him out. They're going to force the BKB charge, and he's going to be okay. That was his 10-second charge being used up.
it's not ideal. Like again, it was mass pinged a while ago. First use is not ideal here as well. Knowing the BKB is down for a bit longer, they smoke up here on the side of Latin defenders.
Yeah. Infamous, they're not leaving the base. They understand that there is more than likely a smoke happening right now. Of course, nobody's showing on the map either. Makes it very obvious. Or doesn't. Leo shows himself. Smoke breaks. Who are they going to jump though? Angel. It'll be the target. But no, they'll turn back around onto A. And it's like the Grimstroke will just have to kind of tank the gank here.
Your fate is mine.
Would have liked a bit more, but you take what you can get. It's definitely not going to lead to a high ground attempt. But it does allow Latam defenders to slowly but surely start taking over this Roshan space. Because we are going to find out in about 1 minute when the next Roshan does spawn up, and that will be the objective that both teams are probably going to try and play around.
It's a lot scarier to fight into, although.
Leo gets away just in time.
Yeah,
Ariana looks safe too.
Not going to be finding any stragglers. The Roche is
Nana.
scarier for Infamous, although.
Yeah, he found the tiny, but he is very low on mana. I think he has quite enough to finish him off. He could try with the regen rune. Never mind, he has enough.
That is a nice pick off again here for Nana. 600 gold going his way just from killing one hero. A huge swing for him. We do clear out some neutral items now as well, but there's some space for Infamous to get that done down. But, so they're not lagging too far behind the neutrals, at least for Infamous. Their high ground is still going to be exposed, and without the tiny burst, there's some confidence here from Latam to just keep going. They still hold the Ravage as well, so they do have the team fight to back it up.
Yeah, this will just be a tier 3 tower, trying to get the buyback forced out from Angel, but he doesn't want to commit. Zip in. Nana really wants that buyback right now. They're going to go after Michael on that Coddle, and he's gone. No buyback on that Keeper. Nana has given them the ability to try and go after that mid-Rax, but they did creep skip with their Ursa. Leo making sure they did not have a creep wave coming in. And instead, I think you just go back and just hold the Roshan area. He's going to be up in 15 seconds. Or maybe they just reinitiate.
Yeah, looking for the angle. Have the Blink Ravage.
They don't really have many around. Latam defenders, only 3 in that mid lane at the moment. Scan was on the Roshan pit from Infamous, trying to just make sure it wasn't happening. Unfortunately for them, now it may start as Moonlight should check. She doesn't though.
They should find out soon enough. It was a fairly quick respawn, so perhaps we didn't expect it to be that fast. But nonetheless, they hold on to the 12k lead here in Latam defenders. Still building up steady. Nana is very close to the BKB on the Storm. So that should probably be the next spike they look for to force something like the Roshan out. And once the BKB's up in the Storm, with the BKB on Cook-a-Hook on the Weaver, you're not going to have control for these slippery heroes.
Nana, Silence is there, doesn't have that BKB yet, needs to get one more hit, but the disarm is not letting him hit the thing, and he does go down. Oh, Eridas now going to get tossed up by Angel, and Leo will have his way with him. He should have checked the Roshan pit, because it is up. Mariano with the disarm, not allowing him to kill the Remnant to get the silence off him.
Oh yeah, and the timing on that BKB buy is so bad, and the catch one.
Yep, so got Valky. Valky has Ravage, will pop the Shivers as well. Looks like he's just going to hold on to the Ravage and accept the fact that he is going to die. He'll just try and buy some time. He actually blinks away with a TP. He might make it, and he does.
Ooh.
He actually gets out. And John, while all that was happening, Cook-a-Hook was split pushing the top lane. Gets a bit more damage on that top tier 3 tower.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time. Good use of that space bought out here by Aretas as well. Just getting that tower low. The Ogre does die back, but not the biggest hero to cry about here. Latam defenders now have to play against this Aegis and Cheese. Need to just hold steady. Leo is starting to look really forceful. And I think in this Aegis time, he can actually just finish up the Abyssal. So once you have that Abyssal on the Ursa, along with his casual Sanj for the status resist, it's going to be harder to lock him in, and Leo is going to have opportunities to actually jump in, take control, and be big. However, there is some good farm here on Cocohook. Does have his Scotty up, so he is hitting a lot harder on Weaver and can mitigate some of that healing that can come through and apply a lot of slows as well, making it hard for the opposing chorus of Infamous to disengage.
No. Zip. Those A's around. Recall is attempted and does actually make it. No. Does not seem happy about that whatsoever. Of course, Infamous, the bottom tier 2 tower. Leo is extremely close to having the full Abyssal Blade now. And suddenly this game does not look one-sided anymore.
No, they've swung back here on the side of Infamous. They do have a solid chance on hand. They're still playing at the deficit, but at this point, 33 minutes in, 6k is not as big as it used to be. And the Abyssal is now up and running on Leo, so he can jump in. He's got a wave locking that Storm down, a wave locking the Weaver down. And Latam defenders needs to be a bit careful with how far forward they toss those two heroes up front.
Infamous clearly feeling very confident. I'm a pick off in that mid lane. Leo gonna show himself, trying to use himself as bait with the Aegis. Arrow, fly through, hits a creep. He won't need to enrage through it. Now turns back around with the Abyssal, but Yules is there. Arama's still in trouble, but Ravage in the backline's pretty massive there from Valky. They got A, but he'll buy back on the Grimstroke. Now onto the Tiny. Angel just trying to run with the BKB. Meanwhile, Leo with his own BKB is going to TP, and everyone from Infamous is just out. Leo recalled back in.
It could turn. There's no Ravage.
Missile up in 3. It's been Yulesed up. Arrow connects, but Angel is in with the Avalanche toss, killing off Moonlight. They're still going to try and fight. Zip right back in by Nana onto that Tiny, and it looks like they will get Angel. A nice start for Latam defenders. Leo is being controlled up and kited around. He has the Aegis and actually gets Aridus, but he loses his first life. Lewis being dropped. He wants to try and go after Cocohook, but it looks like he's going to be controlled quite easily and does end up dying. And because he bought the Abyssal Blade, he does not have buyback gold.
That's a scary time now for Infamous. It looked like they could have bounced back in. They force another fight, knowing Ravage is down, but it doesn't pay off. Now they're going to pay with their racks. The top tier 3 is also very low, so they can easily transition, but they could also maybe poke the beehive here and try for tier 4s. That's a riskier play though. Probably just going to play it safe.
We know these teams love doing that. Mariano, roll in, try and delay this. It's not quite as fast without a Deso. They'll eventually get 1 Rax. That's going to be about it. You don't really have the shards on Valky either. So you don't have that nice anchor smash into buildings. Perhaps he'll pick it up a bit later on, but it looks like he's pretty set on trying to get a Solar Crest up. Suppose that'll help out with the push a little bit as well.
Yeah, just allowing them to maybe tank up the creep. Of course, this is mainly just to protect Na and to protect Cocohook. So once you have that up, these cores can stand in front without as much of fear for the physical damage flying through from Infamous. Infamous, for their part, they're going to have to respawn on that Ursa soon. Ravage is down for a little bit more, but it is going to be back up for Valky, so they have to watch out if they do want to force a big fight. The Ravage has caused issues for them before.
Latam defenders grouped up. Ravage available. Maybe it's time to smoke. Pop one. Still a while off Roshan. Never know when that's spawning up. Hey, he bought back. He'd hate to die back like this on the Grimstroke, but he might not really have an option. In fact, they found Angel. Cocohook gonna get in with the bunks. BKB gonna be popping. Can they burst him down in time? It doesn't look like it. They still have A. So there'll still be a dieback on the Grimstroke, which is still going to be pretty darn nice. But Leo, he started a team fight at the back. Aridus does die on the Ogre, but now the Vortex backwards. Ravage committed, but Leo had the BKB out. The Rolling Thunder being a real nuisance here. They got the Storm controlled, and Leo does kill off Nana. Cookahawk still willing to fight though, does kill off the Ursa. And Mariano try and swashbuckle to the low ground, but they are surely just going to chase him down. The Angel is still around to try and help, but Mariano is taking way too much damage. Still buying time, but the arrow does connect.
And this is really awkward now for Infamous. 3 heroes with no buyback. 2 heroes with no buyback from Latam defenders, but Cookahawk's alive and he can still melt these towers by himself, even without the storm. So they're looking likely to lose another set of racks here, and the Daedalus is up now as well for Cookahawk. So if someone does come to defend, they're going to melt fast.
Angel kills off Moonlight.
No detection.
No detection at all. Cookahawk can't actually hit Tiny. Yaki doesn't have any either. Pops Shadow Blade again. Rather the Glimmer Cape there for Michael. Avalanche toss, it's going to be a lot of damage, but Cookahawk gets a time lapse, and that'll be Angel perhaps dying, even through the BKB. He's just not tanky enough. No buyback on him either. Yaki jumps in after A on the Grim. They ignore him, they just want the racks. It'll be 2 lane of barracks now for Latam defenders. They are going to try and at least get a T3 tower before they back off again.
Yeah, respawns are coming out soon. Ravage is still gone for a minute. They're not going to be able to overcommit for this one, but towers still melt fast. It's Cookahawk. It's a Weaver with a lot of damage. Still, they play it safe, seeing the Ursa back up. They just back off, get back to farming. 2 racks up, 17k lead, 34 to 21 at 39 minutes in. It's looking good for Latam defenders here in Game 2. They've found all their spikes. They've taken control of the map. They're about to hit level 25 and Nana as well. And they found a spell prism to make things better for the Storm.
If he wants to take it, right now he's just holding on to the Enchanted Quiver, maybe just prioritizing having that added bonus magic damage. Roshan is scouted. And that Storm found an even better item, John, with the Timeless Relic.
Oh, yes. And that Roche, it just melts coming out here. Not going to last too long. The Daedalus from Weaver just ripping through. Not enough time to respond from Infamous. This lines up well for the side of Latam defenders. They've got a refresh shard as well for Valky, so double Ravage in play. It's going to make it really hard for Infamous to find that angle in the high ground defense. Latam defenders, just 1 set of racks they want to take, but there is a smoke here from Infamous.
It's going to be such a hard team fight. Into Aegis and Refresher Shard. Valky, if he jumped in right now, he's broken the smoke. He's going to see them, but he gets stunned up with a silence out. Can he survive? The Avalanche toss, he gets blown up. There's no Ravage, and he can't buy back either. This could be the team fight that Infamous needed. Nah, he doesn't care about that. He's just going to keep going. Onto Leo. The Ursa trying to TP away, but the damage might just be there, but no. He barely TPs out in time. In fact, everyone else but Angel is going to make it. Luckily for them, Angel has buyback anyway.
Yeah, it's a decent spot for Infamous. They tried to force a fight under Roche disadvantage, which is optimistic,
Leo.
but it sort of pays off, although...
Lincoln's broken. Leo gonna lose his Aegis. Abyssal is still available on the Ursa. He can't quite get it off, and now the Hex is there by Moonlight, but Enrage was out by the Ursa. Will-O-Wisp has been dropped. Nana killing off A. Leo trying to fight Cookahawk, but the control is just way too much with this Storm. Leo is gonna die. Once again, no buyback on the Ursa. That could be game. They're gonna play it safe and go for the Mega Creeps, but they should realize very soon that this Ursa cannot buy back. Mariano again, use that Rolling Thunder to try and at least get some time going. But Cookahawk gonna move in with Nana. They've got the Tiny. That's a dieback. They'll even find Michael. He'll buy back immediately, but it just may not matter. You can illuminate as much as you want, but it's not gonna save you the game, and the GG has been called. This series will end in a 1-1 between Infamous and Latam defenders. What a great series it was as well.
I mean, it was domineering from Infamous in Game 1, but Latam defenders find a way back in game number 2. There were a couple of moments where Infamous looked like they could, go back in. They had some decent spikes still coming out from Leo. Unfortunately, they also sort of overextended, and the Latam defenders does tie it up. So a nice drawn series between both teams. Very close matchup as well, especially in game number 2. But that does set us up for tonight, Mike.
It certainly does. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow for some more NA and SA Dota. But for tonight, that is it. We can all go to bed. So with that, it's MLP Dota. It's JohnXFire. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.